Today we're getting into the latest Tesla news, including the new AI features coming to Teslas, a new remote start option, matte black Cybertruck spotted, and more, so let's get into it. First up today, a recent survey from Jerry using data from Kelley Blue Book gives us some up-to-date 2023 data on EV deliveries in the United States. Interestingly, when comparing 2022 to 2023 in the US, Tesla's growth actually looks slower than other companies. For Q1 through Q3 of 2022, they delivered 390,814 vehicles, and for the same period of 2023, delivered 493,513. Others, like number 2, Chevy, more than doubled their EV deliveries. On paper, that sounds like one thing, but Tesla's sales still completely blow everyone else out of the water, with them selling 10 times as many EVs as any other automaker in this time period. Luxury brands saw the most growth, with Mercedes at a 339% growth and BMW at 266% growth. But it's again important to note how much easier it is to increase deliveries by 339% when you delivered a mere 6,767 electric vehicles in the previous time period being compared. It's much harder to grow at this percentage when pushing over 390,000 electric vehicles out the door in 3 quarters. So overall, the sentiment that Tesla's grip is loosening doesn't really make that much sense, but still, it's exciting to see other brands growing. In response to this, Elon did tweet saying, "Room for improvement, I suppose." When looking at the most delivered models, Tesla still dominates with the Model Y and 3, and then the Model X took 7th place for the first 3 quarters of 2023 in the US. Definitely notable that a $100,000 Falcon Wing SUV sold almost 4,000 more than the Kia EV6. Tesla's market share is likely going to decrease in the coming months and years as more EVs scale, but it's only natural. The more EVs out there, the better, and hopefully it will keep Tesla on their toes as they scale their current cars, the Cybertruck, and the Model 2 in the near future. Next up today, one of the big questions with Tesla vehicles tends to be safety. If they're so connected, how can we be sure that my car won't actually be stolen easier? The statistics very much show that Teslas are more difficult to steal and stolen much less due to multiple factors, but one feature that is enabled through the app is remote start. With that comes the ability to start the car, honk the horn, and flash the lights remotely. When remote start is initiated, it allows someone to drive your car. This is convenient if someone needs to move your car and you forgot the key, but is also something some owners wish that they could turn off entirely. Now this is becoming an option. A Tesla owner found an option in his vehicle's settings that allows you to toggle Tesla's ability to send remote commands to your vehicle. This was quietly added in a recent software update with the owner using version 2023.27.7. Under the service menu, the new option is to allow Tesla to remote start, and you can toggle it on or off. When you tap for more information, they say, when enabled, allow authorized Tesla personnel to remotely send commands like start, honk, and flash lights to this vehicle. This setting is automatically disabled when a service visit is completed. Then you can give this permission to a third-party repair shop by adding them as a driver in the Tesla mobile app. Allowing Tesla to send remote commands to your vehicle could be helpful, especially during service appointments or in emergency situations. But for privacy, it makes sense that this should be the vehicle owner's choice. This is definitely in line with Tesla's efforts to prioritize user data privacy in an era of connectivity. Some worry how much Tesla has access to, but a lot of data is necessary for Tesla to deliver an optimal user experience. One example of that is the recently added feature to see how busy a supercharger is going to be by the time you get there. In order to do that, drivers have to share their active location data. So Tesla is constantly working to give customers as much privacy as possible while getting the data they need to provide as many experience-enhancing features as possible. This new feature offers enhanced privacy, personalized control, and an added layer of security. This is a smart move for Tesla and should alleviate some concerns that people have about their cars enabled with connectivity. Next up today, Tesla's vehicles are more connected than any other cars out there, but they may be about to get a lot smarter and potentially gain many new features. Elon Musk's tech startup, xAI, announced their first product last week called Grok. It's an AI modeled after The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, designed to answer questions and even suggest what you should ask it. It'll have a sense of humor and real-time knowledge of the world through X, previously known as Twitter. On top of that, it'll answer questions that tend to get rejected by other AIs. Elon has hinted before that their vehicles would utilize AI at some point, and now it looks like Grok is going to be that AI. The day after Grok was announced, a Tesla fan predicted that Grok would run native in Teslas using local compute power. A future Tesla App Store and more capability is definitely in the cards with the computers Tesla ships, so this would make a lot of sense. Shortly after, Elon liked that post and responded saying, "Provided our vehicle AI computer is able to run the model, Tesla will probably have the most amount of true usable interface compute on Earth." At this point, it's unclear exactly how the AI will integrate into the vehicle, but it would make sense if it first was used to enhance their voice command feature, again, provided their vehicles can run the AI model. You can already ask your car to do something, but soon the car may be able to think about its answer a bit before responding and understand commands far better. The super prompt aspect of Grok could be designed to handle up to 25,000 characters and pull live content from a designated X platform. XAI is also planning for Grok to have both auditory and visual recognition abilities, so it will recognize both your face and your voice. This is very much speculation, but Tesla's interior camera is being used for certain new features, like a driver drowsiness warning, so I imagine this AI could utilize that with user permission for much more on the facial recognition front. Maybe a mix of voice and facial recognition, reading your lips, could lead to a much more accurate understanding of what a driver is saying. Moving forward, XAI is looking for AI engineers and researchers, data engineers and web crawlers, full stack web engineers, infrastructure engineers, as well as creators, teachers, and curators. That side of it is separate from Tesla, but at the end of the day, everything Elon Musk does at some point in his companies spills into the same pot. While we don't have a timeline quite yet on when we may see this in Tesla vehicles, Elon's post and XAI's efforts show that this is one of the ultimate goals, to have AI-powered vehicles. Tesla's vehicles already utilize a type of AI for their FSD software, and Elon Musk is very clear that Tesla is ahead of everyone else in this regard, since FSD is creating real-world AI on a massive scale. At least that's his opinion. On the other side of things, though, this new AI model could someday be able to communicate with drivers. It sounds like their plan is not only for the vehicle to be autonomous, but for it to be able to think for itself and maybe even have a personality. One of the main reasons Tesla takes away certain buttons and input devices stems from Elon's opinion that almost all input is error. Cars should do the right thing automatically. He sees a future where Tesla vehicles can anticipate all needs of their owner, so there is no need to engage with stocks, air conditioning vents, or, of course, long-term, a steering wheel or a screen. These are a long ways off, but Grok could be a further step in that direction. Since we've seen Tesla taking steps to ensure user privacy, I'm wondering if this AI will be optional or if it will be the default for Tesla's interface in the long run. A lot of people are excited for the future of AI, but others just want their car to be a car. What do you think, though? Would you want your vehicle to be constantly enabled with artificial intelligence, or would you want it to be optional? Let me know your thoughts in a comment below. Next up today, the latest Cybertruck updates. Joe Tegmeyer spotted 8 new Cybertrucks at Giga Texas, and one has a white interior. Worth noting here that the seats seem to be standard black across all interior types. He says the VINs for these trucks should be in the 865 to 880 range, so production should be well over 1,000 before the delivery event on November 30th. That seems to be more than we've seen in previous vehicles from Tesla, like the Model Y, so the rumors very well could be true that Tesla plans to have their November 30th event and deliver Cybertrucks simultaneously across the country. At the same time, Tesla's chief designer, Franz von Holzhausen, brought a matte black Cybertruck to a Cars and Coffee meetup in Malibu. Several fans caught Franz driving it down the highway, and it looks pretty good from here. In this photo, it's parked next to a vintage Ferrari 250 GT, which gives a good comparison between a gloss and matte finish. In this video of it driving by, it looks pretty slick, but upon further inspection, fans found a lot of build and alignment issues, starting with the wrap. This is the first time we've seen a vinyl wrap in matte black like this, but the rest of the details and finish match the other release candidate Cybertrucks we've been seeing. From what we can see, this looks like a truck Tesla is prepared to deliver to customers. Reportedly, von Holzhausen said he designed this truck with the matte black finish in mind, so that's why he was showing it off here. It didn't seem to be applied very skillfully though, with air bubbles and pieces of vinyl visibly lifting and peeling off. The matte wrap fixes the stainless steel's reflections and fingerprint issues, but we're hoping that if Tesla does start offering a wrap service for the Cybertruck, they'll do a better job than this. Since this truck hasn't been officially released yet, it's always possible they're still working out the kinks. Beyond its wrap job though, this truck did have some serious panel gaps, some of which appear to be larger than a centimeter. On the front door, we can see gaps that are both deep and wide compared to other models we've seen on the road. The fenders above all 4 tires were also misaligned to varying degrees. To see all 4 of these fenders having different issues is causing a bit of concern amongst fans. Then the tailgate was uneven too, sitting well below the sidewall of the bed. This, of course, is not the first time we've seen Tesla having issues with panel gaps on new vehicles. When I got my first Model Y, which had a VIN in the early 2000s, it had a lot more issues than the Model Ys coming out now. So I expect anytime Tesla releases a car, it's going to have some issues that they'll be working through. But we have to remember this is still a prototype that we're seeing here, and hopefully customer deliveries won't have as many issues like this. With that said, it's always an interesting balance for a new vehicle launch of any type. On the one hand, customers want a newly released vehicle as soon as possible, but on the other hand, waiting could pay off in terms of build quality, bugs, features, and even price. Moving on to the inside, we can see the rear view camera that comes up on screen when the tonneau cover is blocking the rear view mirror. We're already expecting side mirrors to be able to be removed on this truck, so it makes sense that cameras would be able to replace the rear view mirror as well. All these mirrors are of course still legally required at delivery though, so they still need to be functional. Also in this photo, we can see the LED light bar is set to green, which can be changed by the driver. 2 more Cybertrucks were spotted off-roading in Tahoe National Forest on a level 4 trail. These trails are rugged and include water crossings over 24 inches wide, large rocks, deep mud, steep inclines, and 30-degree hills. Taking on this trail requires 4-wheel drive, higher than stock ground clearance, an aggressive tire tread, and low air pressure. Traction devices and above-average driving skills are also recommended. Even then, the vehicle will likely sustain some damage. This is about as much as any vehicle should be able to handle, and I'm curious to see how these Cybertrucks look on the other side of this. A couple were spotted supercharging after off-roading in Tracy, California, which is about 200 miles south of those trails. This fan managed to take a picture of the VIN on each of these trucks, and these were the 827th and 828th models. That would make them relatively new. Over in Denver, Colorado, another one was spotted cruising on city streets. This one has dealer plates and looks to be a lot better aligned than the one at the Cars and Coffee meetup. These photos weren't taken very close though. Overall, it looks like Tesla is still powering through final testing, and they may still have some kinks to work out in the quality control department, but they have about 3 more weeks until deliveries are officially kicked off. I'll be at that event on November 30th, and I'll be posting a video right after with exclusive details, so make sure you're subscribed to stay up on the latest there. Last up today, some updates from other automakers. At Ford, they have confirmed that Tesla is indeed opening more than 12,000 superchargers to their cars. As part of their partnership with Tesla, Ford owners will soon have access to 15,000 plus supercharger stalls. This is great news for Ford owners and will be interesting to see develop. Does Ford get 3,000 more than everyone else, or are they going to be standardized across the board with everyone having access to these same chargers? Tesla owners are still expected to have exclusive stations open only to their cars, so this will be an interesting situation to see unfold. It may be messy for a bit, but ultimately will help EVs as a whole. And it looks like 15,000 is the new updated number, as the latest automakers announcing this are giving that number. Subaru has announced their NACS deal with Tesla. They confirmed the same deal as other automakers, with converters becoming available soon for their EVs and their customers having access to 15,000 superchargers, as Ford recently confirmed. Subaru has very few EVs in the first place, so for now this isn't that big of a surprise, but it's good for the future. Over at Lucid, they have also announced their switch to NACS, and that 15,000 plus supercharger number seems to be the standard. The main bullet points for the deals say Lucid customers will be able to access 15,000 plus Tesla superchargers in North America in 2024, Lucid to integrate NACS into its vehicles in 2025. Lucid vehicles built with the current CCS will be able to access the Tesla supercharger network via an adapter in 2025. Some automakers have said 2024 into 2025, but it seems that Lucid won't be making any changes next year. Instead, it will be coming in 2025. CEO Peter Rawlinson said, "Adopting NACS is an important next step to providing our customers with expanded access to reliable and convenient charging solutions for their Lucid vehicles. We believe that a unified charging standard backed by the nationwide rollout of future-ready, higher-voltage charging stations will be a critical step in empowering American consumers to adopt electric vehicles." This is quite a 180 from a few months ago when Peter Rawlinson said, "Really, what is the difference between those two, NACS and CCS? We're talking about a plastic plug here. That's the difference. It's a plastic plug with some copper in it. What actually supports that plastic plug in terms of the infrastructure and what it's connected to is very relevant to the US consumer and a very important topic for the growth of the EV in terms of its value to the American people." He went on to say an ultra-high voltage charging standard, 1,000 volts. That is the future for EVs. And really, it doesn't really matter whether that plug, the way that high voltage enters the car, whether it's through an NACS or CCS plug. That's almost besides the point here. Clearly, Lucid customers have felt differently, and Elon commented on this saying, "That must have been a bitter pill to swallow." There is an issue at hand here, which is the limitation between Tesla V3 superchargers and EVs with 800 volt or 900 volt architectures. They won't get the most out of a 250 kilowatt supercharger, but they still should provide reasonable charging speeds and, of course, reliability. Then V4 superchargers should bring better compatibility across the board. Over at Honda, they are bailing on plans to build affordable EVs with GM, saying, after studying this for a year, we decided that this would be difficult as a business. So at the moment, we are ending development of an affordable EV. They added, GM and Honda will search for a solution separately. This project itself has been canceled. So there may still be a Honda EV in the works that is affordable, but they are planning to develop it themselves. From a cost perspective, this will make the most sense, and a partnership ultimately wouldn't be the best move long term, as Tesla has demonstrated. The Honda Prologue is expected to ship in 2024 in partnership with GM for now, and then GM has pushed back most of their EV release dates. Honda also unveiled a concept car recently, a new electric version of the two-door Prelude. This car was discontinued in 2001, rumors circled that they'd bring it back as an EV, and now they've unveiled it as a concept. It's a cool concept in a category that has almost no EVs, but we'll see if production comes. That's all the latest Tesla news for today, so in the meantime, if you want to see all the best accessories to get for your Tesla Model Y or 3, you can check out that video linked up here or in the description below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.